Another book that I found that I really liked is called Pancho Rabbit and the Coyote, A Migrant's Tale. And this book is by Duncan Tonatium, I think. Sorry if I pronounce that wrong. I might butcher a lot of names. Um, so I really like this book because it can be used in your classroom to talk about Mexican or Latino culture. You can talk about migrant workers. It talks about the food they eat, how their parties are fiestas. And another thing I like about this book is it gives that innocence. Instead of focusing on the race or the color of the characters, it doesn't use humans, it uses animals. And I think that's diverse too, because usually in animal tales, it's more focused on American or I guess white culture, I would call it. So seeing Latino culture represented with these animals is really cool and different. So in the story, the rabbit, there's a rabbit family and they live on a ranch, and one day Papa or Dad, the dad, and a couple other animals have to go to a different ranch to make money and get resources to bring back to their home ranch. So while the dads are gone, the other animals at home start preparing to have a fiesta. So they make the dad's favorite food. They put up banners and piñatas. They have music. And then the cool thing about this story is at the end of the book, there is an author's note and there's also a glossary. So I would personally go through the glossary before I started reading to talk about the Spanish terms that are used in the book, so that first I know how to pronounce them right, and also the students know the definition. But some teachers may choose to go through the glossary as you're reading the story and as those Spanish terms are coming up. Another idea I had with this book is if you have Spanish-speaking students in your class, this might be a good way to showcase their Spanish language. You could have them say the Spanish words or help you say the Spanish words and tell the class what it means instead of going to the glossary. That would be a great way to show them, yes, your language is valid and we value your culture and we can learn from you. So again, I think the glossary and the author's note are helpful, but if you have students that can explain it, that's a great thing to incorporate and do. I also think this book is great because it talks about Mexican culture. Like I said, it doesn't focus on the race or the color or religion or anything in that sense. It talks about the history and the culture in a sense, in a more innocent way than maybe what we're used to seeing. This book reminded me of a TED Talk, and the speaker was Grace Lynn, and she talked about how growing up, she always thought white was more beautiful and American was more beautiful, and she didn't see herself as beautiful or important. She thought of herself as lesser because she didn't see herself in books. And she is actually an author. And she said a lot of my drawings were originally of white people and American people because I thought that was more appealing. I thought that's what people wanted and what makes a story good. She then later realized that she had these feelings because she was underrepresented. So again, this book, although it doesn't have human characters, it still talks about the culture and the importance of the culture to bring this story to life. So this TED Talk and this book really helped me realize that, you have to be conscious of how you're setting up your classroom and what you're representing as a teacher as what's important. and what books you're sharing with your class. So this Pancho Rabbit book, I think, would be great to have in the classroom because it brings to life Mexican or Latino culture in a fun story.